Hello, beautiful people. How are you all doing today? On a scale from... There's a new event with 5 days left? Whatever. I'm not doing the scale thing. How are you guys doing today? Like, real talk. And when I say real talk, I mean, I want to know if you're doing good, but I don't want to know if you're not doing good. True! I'm feeling tough. True. Chat, type "tuh" if you're not feeling too hot, and "ta" if you're feeling great. Okay, I see more "tas" than "tus", so that's nice, I guess. I hope those of you that are feeling "tuh" at least, I hope it gets better. Chat! Chat, I'm actually gonna stall, okay? I'm gonna stall like Nick would. Okay, so let's go and do some duels. Yes, agreed. Okay. Stall. Okay. Sa Savvy. Okay. Savor. Savor. Oh, I'm so talented. Oh my god, I'm too good. I am actually too good at this. Savor it for me, true. American spelling. Imagine being a Brit. Yeah, actually, the stalling is so short because I'm just too good at this. Maybe that's the secret, right? Maybe the reason why Nick is so good at stalling is because he sucks at all of his stalling. Maybe that's why, actually. Alright, should we do the connections? I want to do the connections. Okay, this one's always fucking hard, man. Okay, secret, tell, split, ticket, branch, spill, dish, knife, recipe, fork, formula, doorknob, unknown, talk, top knot. Spill, tell. Oh. Fork, knife seems too obvious. Yeah. Formula, recipe. Here's the secret. Maybe it's just this. I feel like it isn't, but okay. Hmm. Split. Okay, fork. The chess move. It's talk, tell, spill, dish. I'm so talented. I'm so talented. Okay. Okay. I feel like recipe, formula, and secret have to be one. What the fuck does doorknob have to do with anything else? Ah. Chat. 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 Hey. Okay. Okay. So I feel like top knot and doorknob have nothing to do with the rest. Like I'm just fucking one away. Okay. Wait, I'm an idiot. I want formula. Okay, it's not that. So ticket and formula are together. And I know it's these three. Recipe, secret, unknown. And it's either with knife, top knot, or doorknob. And I honestly don't know. Like, I'm actually... What is a top knot? Top knot. Knot of hair arranged on the top of the head. A decorative knot or bow or ribbon worn on the top of the head. An animal or bird. A crest of hair or feathers. Can't be that. I actually don't know. Gamble? I mean, it's a 1 out of 3 if I gamble. Formula? I already tried formula. It wasn't a. It was one away. I know it's not formula or ticket. Is helping allowed? Helping is allowed if you don't know either. But if you know, you're not allowed to help. Hmm. I really don't know. I'm just gonna guess. What was it? I want to kill myself. Silent K? Is that... Wait. I had formula? Secret and unknown? Oh. It told me I was one away when I had ticket, and it told me I was one away when I had recipe. Because both of them were in, and unknown was not in. Not because... Oh. Fuck. I didn't realize that could happen. Fuck. We try again tomorrow? Yeah, I'll be fine. Alright. I think we'll do one more duel. We'll do the Genshin duel. Kaya. Oh. That was hard. The scribe's work is simple, which is exactly why I took the position. There's a scribe in Genshin? Who the fuck is a scribe? Mika? No. Who's a yapper? Oh! Oh. Right. Surely he's acting? Klugi. I don't know. Ah. Okay. This is a shield. This is a cat. Okay, dude. Wrong cat, yeah. Man. Why do we have two cat shielders? Yeah. What is that all about? Should I do the Star L one? Surely I'll be able to do it. Who's a character? Let's do Gallagher. Let's do Himiko. Oh. That was easy. Universe is Vat. We will meet again as friend or foe, dead or alive. That sounds like something Acheron would say. That sounds like something... Anya would say? I don't know. I have no idea who... That sounds like something Kafka would say? That sounds like something Jingli would say? Yo! Easy. True. Daily ability. It's like a lock on. No. Who else locks on? I guess Ratio? It's Ratio. Oh, it's the like, ooh. Huh. Damn, that's crazy. That is crazy. Can I get a pog crazy in the chat? We do not have Paul Crazy. Did I ask? Did I ask? You didn't know. I asked you to write Paul Crazy. I didn't ask if we had the emote. Do I do ley lines today or do I do books? I'll do ley lines. Why do we have a hilly turtle ley line in Fontaine? That feels so weird. Music is very quiet for me? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay! Don't be sorry? Okay. Music is really quiet. No, it isn't. This is normal volume. You guys are just yapping right now. You guys are putting the yap in Dr. Yappington. Oh, chat, did we watch the Wuthering Waves 1.1 trailer? Thoughts?
I can feel the Sentinel's presence inside. But it's not responding.
What is that?
It's inside.
Why does this character look like they're saying these nuts?
Melusines are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine. Be sure
But it's not responding.
This is actually Pog DN. Yo, it's Dragon Spine! Let's go! Huge.
This Ouija board and the Sonorosphere, they are both a puzzle and an answer. Allow me to demonstrate the proper etiquette. Clear the blaze. Crosscut. Sever. Beckon the divine flames. Shall we proceed? The storm is coming. Some people must be itching to pounce.
But we both have something we'll fiercely defend. Shine forevermore. Divine moon's blessing. Moment of awakening. Sacred light. A fateful clash between the Sentinel and myself that would shape the fate of our city.
This game is almost over.
Restore the time. From where does this unfounded confidence arise?
You once said it's not easy to become a candle of light, but I still want to try. I want to see if I can ignite a spark of hope for Jinzhou.
Aw. Wait, these puzzles look kind of fun. Wait a second. They're adding new puzzle types? On 1.1? Wait, that's so pog. That's actually so big. It actually They actually look like they're different from the ones that we have right now. It's not just, yeah, a Sealy, but this time it's red. Hey, yo? Hey, I mean, listen.
Many flavors to the discerning.
The main thing that I think Uo has over Genshin is that the exploration is better.
Water from Liyue.
It's more well designed.
In Inazuma, the water.
And so this, I love to see. Yes! So it looks like it's got massive AoE and good stagger. Oh my god, wait. So, this is a parry. And it does actual good damage. It might... Chat! If you can use this in the air, this is actually a massive upgrade for Ling Yang. If you can't use this in the air... This can be cast mid-air, which is good for Ling Yang. But I don't think it matters, because it's not a very good echo. They're so cute. Signatures, new event, also new event. Wait, so same thing with our purple collection. Let's go! More. This is good. That means they're adding new resonators to it. It's gonna be Pog. An event that gives tuner, battle event, makes sense. Tuner rewards being in the battle event, I think makes a lot of sense. Also, wait. Tactical simulacra. Simulation challenge. Isn't that what they call the holograms? So this is probably a holo-like event. That's cool. There's a crownless hologram? Yeah, but this is limited time battle challenge, so this is not what they're talking about. It seems like the battle event for this patch is actually gonna be a boss, like, hologram thing. Mission event, whatever. Login. Okay. Check-in. Cool. Yeah. Cool, I guess. That's a lot of pulls. Yeah, but it's a lot of getting 10 character wishes, 10 standard wishes, and 10 weapon wishes is so much worse than getting 30 character wishes. Because if you don't spend your jades on the weapon banner, getting 10 more pity built up on the weapon banner literally does nothing, right? Like, it's not there to be generous, it's there as a way to bait you into being like, well, I'm already like 30 into pity now, so I might as well, right? Because we got 5 from a thing a while ago, 6 from the first shop reset, another 6, that's, what, 17? Then plus those 10, you're going to be 27 into pity. It's like, oh, no, it's not that expensive to get a 5-star anymore. If they give 10 every patch, you get... if they give 10 every... Good one, buddy. Do you have any idea how good the weapons will be? I haven't looked at them very much, but we can take a look at them now. Yeah, that's pretty fucking good. Something's wrong with this description. I'm gonna assume this is supposed to be 1. And this is supposed to be 5? 6? I don't know. But this one doesn't really matter, though. Yeah, this one just, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Oh well. Alright, chat, that's enough stalling. Have you looked into the kits? A little bit. From what I've gathered, Jinshi's really good. And she kind of incentivizes you to play some weird characters. Like, you want to play... You probably want to play Yinlin with her. You probably... Bro, I don't even know. Like... The fact that she gains double the stacks for coordinated attacks is so weird to me. Yeah, like, you want to play her with Verena. You want to play her with Yinlin, right? That's probably going to be her best team. Oh yeah, actually, Verena's not that good. I don't even know what the last one would be. How about Spectre MC? No. Her whole kit is designed around being played with characters of a different element. Her main source of damage is her skill, which deals damage based on her forte. And her forte is basically, she generates forte when other characters deal damage, and she generates more forte if that way of dealing damage is a coordinated attack. Let's go to Leylines and Sumeru for a change. Why not?
Cannot help but feel that you bringing me here is some sort of an assassination attempt.
Can you describe both the 5 stars in a few lines? I haven't looked very much into Chun-Li yet. It seems very boring. But Jinshi is basically...
Another test subject. I'll be back.
Happy to oblige.
The wrong a hunter becomes
play her with coordinated attack users. That's it. Who are you gonna pull? I'm playing a no-pull account. I haven't logged into my second account in a while, so I don't know if I'm gonna pull for either of them on this second account.
settle down. We'll meet again.
I'm curious about Tachi. Her concerto energy generation is not that bad. Is it really not that bad? I've heard it was really bad. I don't have her, so it's hard for me to check. I tested it. I don't think it's that bad if you swap into her with intro. Do you have a clip you can send me? It's kind of crazy how a wave of a ley line in Sumeru is a 1 Eremite's Desert Clearwater, and a wave in Fontaine is 2 Fatui agents. So. Come on. Come on! There we go. Bro has Émilie pre-released in the title instead of Sijuin testing? Wait. No, she's not out yet. I guess she's out in Asia. I mean... Do you guys want to see Sijuin testing? Why are you farming XP books? I don't know, man. I have a problem. This is why the desert fucking sucks, by the way. I hate it so much. I wanna do my ley lines, man. Why you gotta be cringe? I want to see you suffer. I don't want to see the Sijuin testing itself. I see.
Well, meet again. The wrong test subject.
This saddens me. How much crit rate does your Neuvillette have? 48 plus the 36 from Maréchaussée. Unless I don't have him on Maréchaussée. No, I do. Too low. Thank you, Chatter. Livre. Hello, book. How do you do? Hello, Marshall. World quests are shorter than this commission? Yeah, I know. It's a fucking pain in the ass. Hello, Estelle. Hello, Caron. Ah. Wow. Finally done with this commission. Last commission. Swift Slayer. Ooh, we gotta go slay them swiftly. Go, 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 run! Maybe not run! Farida, run!
Solidify!
What? Oh.
Silence!
Wind strike, clouds high, the birds call.
Whew. Oh my god, we almost didn't do it in time.
Add Ash. Thank you for Add Ash.
Alright. Could you check the minus 15k? I'm not adding, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm not adding Sparkle Wajaja either. Because it's a bad amount. Leakers? Are there new leakers? 5.0 new characters? Okay, these are not leakers, Pat. Okay? These are not leaks, okay? these don't mean anything. Alright. What now, chat? Are we actually gonna do the pre-release today, or was I clickbaiting? I don't know, man. Maybe we are. I'm worried that there's still gonna be some massive changes next week. Eh. Was this pre-changes or post-changes? 8600. Okay, this is post-changes. They never changed stuff in VFUG. Bro, they literally changed Siege Win yesterday. Like, clearly, no. Is Émilie stronger than Nilo in her niche? No. Okay. I mean, you know what? Fuck it. Let's fucking do it. Slash marker. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. Hi. To the Émilie pre-release analysis. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I've heard of this Émilie character before. I've heard that she was a burning character. Hog. Burning is gonna be good now, right? No. No. Émilie is not like Nilo. Émilie does not actually change the way the reaction work. She doesn't actually change the way the reaction works. She's more like Féminin, I guess, where the reaction just increases her damage. But anyways, let's get right into it. She has base HP of 13,000 health, which is honestly reasonable. Base attack 335, base defense 730, crit damage ascension. These are actually relatively good defensive stats, which are going to somewhat matter as we're going to see later. So, what does she do? Normal attacks, performs up to 4 consecutive whatever. She's got a 4-hit combo, they don't do that much damage. Who cares? Skill! And we've got an essay here, so we're going to have to... Instead of just reading the whole thing, I'll just tell you what it does, because it's going to be easier. You press her skill and you get Dendro Oz. That's it. That's the skill. But you get a Dendro turret that deals damage every what this is, I don't know, 1-2 seconds, every 2 seconds ish. little bit faster than that. I don't remember the exact interval. I know the amount of times it hits, but I don't remember the exact interval because I'm an idiot. I think it's 1.5. So you get a dendro hit every 1.5 seconds. And then if you're playing her in a team that has burning, that dendro hit becomes a double hit and deals a lot more damage, as you can see, right? This is the damage if you don't have burning. It deals 67.3% every time it hits. This is the damage if you do have burning. It deals 142.8% twice. So it's over 4 times the damage. Yeah, she is pretty much unplayable if you don't have a way to trigger burning. Her damage is just completely worthless. And as we're going to see later, damage is pretty much all she provides. If you don't have a way to trigger this, GG. Okay, more specifically, right, the way that her skill works is every time there is a burning enemy around, her lamp, which starts at level 1, will gain 1 stack up to once every 2 seconds. Once it's collected 2 stacks, it will level up to the enhanced version that is significantly stronger. If she doesn't trigger burning for 8 seconds, she will lose her upgraded level and it'll go back to level 1. I thought they removed that. Did they? Maybe it's removed. I don't know. Editors, you can just remove that if it ends up that it is actually removed. It doesn't really matter. Now, one thing where I'm not entirely sure of is the way that it checks for this. There's 2 ways they could go about it, right? The first way is, okay, we're gonna have a 2-second timer on her skill, and every 2 seconds is gonna check, is there a nearby enemy that is burning? If it finds one, you get a stack. If it doesn't find one, you don't get a stack, and the timer starts again. That's the first way they could do it. The second way they could do it is to have a constant thing that is checking if there's an enemy that's burning, and when it does find one, it goes on cooldown for 2 seconds. If they do the first way I described, it means that if you trigger burning at the wrong moment, it will not give her scent, which is the name of her stacks. Whereas if they do it the second way, it will work properly, right? Like even if you trigger burning not at the perfect exact intervals, you'll still get your stacks. I'm going to be assuming that's how it works for the rest of this pre-release, but I do want to communicate that this is an assumption. I'm not entirely sure that's how it works, so keep that in mind, right? Her ultimate, aromatic explication. Guiding the fragrances collected within the case, Émilie converts them into pure dendro energy, creating a level 3 luminous case, which is her skill, basically, and sewing existing cases away. While it exists, the level 3 luminous case will not gather nearby scents, but it will continuously cause scented dew to descend, attacking opponents within range and dealing dendro damage. During this time, 1 drop of scented dew will descend every 0.3 seconds, and 1 opponent can become the target every 0.7 seconds. When the duration ends, a level 1 Nubidu's case will be recreated. But if you use your ult while there was already a level 2 skill on the field, you'll get the level 2 skill back instead. Basically, her ult pauses her skill, becomes a stronger version of her skill for 2.8 seconds, and then redeploys the skill. From everything in the wording here, I'm assuming that that means that you don't need to ever repress your skill cast, because the skill duration is 22 seconds and your ult cooldown is 13.5. So you can just use your ult to refresh your skill over and over, and you never need to reuse the skill. Which can be somewhat useful because her skill has an archer alignment, and it hits with pneuma, and so being able to keep that if there's an enemy where we're interacting with it with pneuma helps in some way. Can be kind of useful, but it doesn't matter too much. When it comes to the way that it works for the damage, it's going to deal damage 10 times. But it's not, it can't deal damage 10 times to the same enemy. From what I understand, what's it called? Okay. It is possible that it works with like pseudo-quadratic scaling. And that if you have a lot of enemies grouped together, you can effectively end up hitting maybe all 10 hits with it. Wait, shit, sorry, 9 times, not 10. My mistake, 9 hits, not 10. But yeah, it should be possible. That if you have a bunch of enemies grouped, it works like Ganyu and Ayato ult, where it's pseudo-quadratic scaling and all of the hits can hit the same target. But otherwise, you're generally gonna get 3 hits, maybe 4, because there's some hits that hit in the area randomly, so it's possible that they hit the enemy, especially on bigger enemy. It's more likely that they get hit by more than 3. But her ult, as you can see, right, the scaling on it is actually pretty good. And the scaling on her skill is also pretty good. That means you have a character that just has a pretty good amount of damage. Now let's very quickly look at the passives as well. Ascension 1 passive, each time her skill collects 2 cents, it will consume cents and release Clear Dew Cologne, which is a hit of AoE dendro damage that deals 600% of her attack. And then Rectification, she deals increased damage to burning opponents based on her attack, up to 36%. You're pretty much always getting at least 25+%, even if you're using her as an off-fielder with basically no attack buffs. And then finally, her Exploration passive, which is actually very relevant. When her skill is on field, all party members gain 85% resistance against burning damage. Which matters a lot, because otherwise you're gonna die. So that's nice. But yeah, So, what sort of numbers are we looking at really with her, right? You're looking at almost 300 motion value, over 300 if you're crowning her, right? Every 1.5 seconds. That's actually pretty good. Reactions aside, it's actually better than Fischl. Which is, you know, a pretty good amount of damage. However, her elemental application is quite slow. Her skill has special ICD and will only apply every other proc of it, which means that you get your double hit, it applies Dendro, and then the next double hit does not apply Dendro. Technically, it's timer based, which means that if the enemy's really close on the first hit and really far for the second one, maybe it can be possible that both of them apply, but like in most situations, it's only gonna be one. But yeah, effectively what her role in teams is gonna be is not elemental application. Her Dendro application is slow enough and weak enough that it's not really that useful as a way to use burning to enable other reactions, which is something that historically has been pretty much the only use of burning so far, which was as a good way to enable other reactions, right? Burn Melt Ganyu, Burn Melt Grizzly. And while she can be played in those teams, you're gonna notice if you try to play her in those teams that the ability that Nahida has to effectively replace your off-field pyro application, because her Dendro application is so strong that she can maintain the burning aura. Right, if we're really trying to get a good mental image of how the burning aura works, you can think of it as it's just a campfire, and the Dendro application is more wood that you're putting in the campfire, right? And so good enough Dendro application can keep the fire going, even if you don't add more heat, right? Even if you don't start the fire again with more pyro. But Émilie's Dendro application is weak enough that she's not putting enough wood to keep the fire going through other reactions.
But I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
What that means is that if you want to play her in those reaction teams, you're gonna need to play her with an off-field pyro unit. You're not gonna be able to play her by herself as the pseudo pyro application in the same way that you can with Nahida. However, in exchange for that, she deals a lot more damage. A lot of Nahida's value is in her elemental application, and in Quicken teams, her personal damage is pretty good because of that elemental application and the fact that she's building a lot of EM. In Burning teams, in pretty much any team where Nahida doesn't end up triggering Quicken, her actual personal damage output isn't that high. Right? She has great AoE, she has great coverage, she has great application, but her damage is, you know, a bit on the lower side. Émilie's damage, on the other hand, is actually pretty good. So, the sort of teams where you're going to want to play her is teams where you're less reliant on the Dendro application, but more reliant on the damage. One of the teams I wanna look into when she gets released, and I want to talk about it now before we get into the teams because I'm really not sure how good it's actually going to end up being, is with Neville. I am not sure that Nivedette teams can have good enough burning up time to actually get her to get her level 2 passive reliably.
Melusines are beautiful
I
creatures.
hope so,
They
but
attract a fontaine
I don't know. We're gonna have to see.
and cause them no harm.
And part of that is because I don't know exactly how the game is gonna check for the burning. That being said, she has a bunch of other teams where she's gonna be viable, and so we'll be talking about all of those. But first, as usual for the pre-releases, let's do our good old sheet where we take a look at the weapons, take a look at the artifact sets, artifact stats, and teams. So, first things first for her weapons, we gotta talk about her signature. And in order to talk about her signature, we have to talk about her energy generation. Because her signature gives her some energy. So, her elemental skill generates one particle every other proc of it. Same element, different element, clear, caught, non-caught. Okay. So, when you're playing her in teams where she's the only Dendro unit, you'll get a total of, in a 20-ish second rotation, about 7 particles. Let's say 7. She's probably catching maybe 1 of them. Then, I mean, let's take a look at a very default Bennett channeling Kazuha. Or Bennett Arlecchino Kazuha. Or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Bennett, let's look at Arlecchino, Bennett, Kazuha, Émilie. Which is, I guess, an example of a mono pyro team with her, or a mono burning, whatever. Anyways, so different element, she doesn't catch any of the other character's particles. Let's say you do 2 Bennett E's, Arlecchino. Let's say 2 Kazuha E's, sure, fuck it. And then okay. So, as we can see, in a team like this, her energy, before ER, she'd generate about 30, and her cost is 50, which means her ER requirements, 172. That's kind of high, right? Like, that's relatively high. And because her ER requirements are so high, what exactly does that mean? Like, what can we do with this information? But let's take a look at what happens if instead you ult every other rotation. Oh, her ER requirements are trivial now. So At 172 ER, you're pretty much going to need either an ER weapon or some form of ER sense. Looking at the non-ER weapons, going ER Sands versus attack Sands with burst every other rotation is actually like within 1% incredibly similar damage. So what that means is that while her ult is good, building a lot of ER like entirely for your ult is not actually necessary. However, building ER for your... What the fuck is that? That's a loud ass truck, man. Jesus Christ. So, therefore, but that also means that if you have a weapon that gives a lot of ER, it's not completely wasted, right? She's a character that has a burst that is weak enough that it's not necessary to use, but still strong enough that if you can use it every rotation, you want to, right? And so, as we're going to get into the weapon options, we're going to see that a lot of those ER weapons are actually relatively good. On top of that, her damage outside of her ult, I want you to take a look at this. Size, radius 1. That is the same AoE as a Hyper Bloom proc. Yeah, her AoE is not very good. Like, it's not good. Her AoE is awful on her skill. She does have the Ascension passive, but this will proc at most 3 times in a rotation. Most of the time, it's going to be 2 to 3. So that's not that much, which means that in AoE, her ult matters a lot more. And what that means is, although the calcs are relatively similar for ult every rotation versus ult every other rotation, I'm still going to slightly favor ult every rotation. In a very similar way that I would favor an ult every rotation build on Yaimiko when you're playing her in aggravate teams, where your main form of AoE is her ult and Kazuha. Okay. Yeah, so now that we have her ER requirements out of the way, let's talk about her weapons, and let's start with her signature. So, her signature, crit rate, stat stick, right? Or, sorry, it's a crit rate weapon, medium base attack, 33 crit rate, attack percent increased by 15%. When the equipping character triggers burning on an opponent or deals Zendro damage, the damage is increased by 18%, up to 2 stacks. So that's 36 damage percent and 15% attack. Just looking at this, 36 damage percent, 15% attack. This is very similar amounts of stat stick as what you're getting from Aqua Simulacra on Yelan. Hell, it's more. 16% HP is comparable to 15% attack, and 20% damage is a lot worse than 36% damage. The thing is, that's not all. When 2 stacks are reached, or you refresh the second stack, restore 12 energy, up to once every 12 seconds. If you have a slightly extended rotation, or realistically, right, because you proc this on the first time you reach 2 stacks, and then it keeps going, and you get your first proc at like 5-ish seconds into your rotation, then at 17, then at 29, then at 41. So if the chamber's not taking too long, you're pretty reliably getting 2 procs per rotation. And as it turns out, reducing your burst cost from 50 to 26 makes her ER requirements entirely trivial. This is one of the most egregious cases of R1 bait in the game. I really don't like it. It feels like they, you know, gave her a problem and are selling the solution. It's one of the biggest gaps between this weapon and even other 5-star stat sticks. Like, the gap between this weapon and the next best weapon is bigger than the gap between most characters' signature and best free-to-play option. Which makes me angry. There is a silver lining, though, which is that there are actually a decent amount of teams where it is very much worth considering playing Émilie either with a secondary unit or as an on-fielder. Or at the very least in some form of quick swap team. And if that's what you're doing, then she ends up generating more energy, and so her ER requirements, you know, become a lot lower. Which obviously is going to mean that you're not gaining as much from this, and it's going to reduce the gap between her signature and the other option. Anyways, let's get into her weapons. So obviously, we've got her signature. What else do I want to talk about? I have to change this, but whatever. I don't care. And don't show these because I know there's a few mistakes in there that I am aware of, but I'm too lazy to correct because I'm not like sharing this calc. Homa, Jade Wing Spear, Calamity, Queller, Staff of Scarlet Sands, do I need to talk about this? No, it's just worse than Jade Wing Spear. Engulfing, I guess. I didn't calc it here, but I should. Do I have it already? Yeah. Engulfing, lightning, R1. 608 base, attack percent. Which one? This is ER Sands. So 170, 70% times 100%. No, 70%. No, 80%. 80% times 28%. 5, I guess. But then we also need less ER rolls, so we can get plus 10%-ish. Oh, I also gotta... wrong. That's something. Oh yeah. There's also an attack sound. I'm an idiot. Alright, makes sense. Cool. Engulfing. Skyward. Spine. I want to talk about Deathmatch. I want to talk about... I guess I can talk about Blackcliff. Blackcliff. Full. Missive, Wind Spear. Polonius, Lance. Is there anything else I want to talk about? The cash? Sure. Okay. So, obviously, Luminous Elegy is going to be her best in slot in every team. Homa is like a decent 5-star stat stick. Jadewing Spear is going to be a bit worse. Obviously, if you're not on fielding her, you're not getting a lot of stacks on Jadewing Spears, so it's not all that good. It's fine. Okay. 5-star stat stick. Because it has really high base attack, and it's a crit rate substat weapon, it's still like fine, right? You're not, if you're playing her as an off-fielder, she's not getting Bennett buff, she's not getting these sorts of buffs that generally can make Deathmatch better than Jadewing Spear for off-fielders. So it's still like a pretty decent option, but it's not all that insane. Let me actually fucking go to Jadewing Spear. Jadewing Spear. I'll give it like 1 stack average, I guess. And see where it ends up. Yeah. Still slightly better than low refined Deathmatch. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Like it's a fine. It's on the lower end of the 5-star stat stakes, but it's okay. Calamity Queller is actually relatively similar to Homa. It's a pretty decent 5-star stat stick. Because again, right, it's an attack scaler that doesn't stay on field and doesn't snapshot, and so her synergy with Bennett is not really there, which obviously means that attack percent becomes a much more valuable stat to get than for other characters that do a decent amount of damage. So Scarlet Sands, still a decent stat stake. Engulfing Lightning, also pretty decent. Skyward Spine is okay. I'd say that Skyward Spine and Jadewing Spear are relatively similar to one another when it comes to off-field Émilie. Obviously, this is assuming you can take advantage of the ER, which may not be the case. So if you're not taking advantage of it, obviously it's not that good. But yeah. Deathmatch is her best in slot 4-star. Low refined Deathmatch is similar to the okay 5-star stat sticks. High refined Deathmatch is similar to the decent 5-star stat sticks. Blackcliff Pole is I've never been a huge fan of Blackcliff Pole, especially for off-fielders that aren't like necessarily the main source of your team's damage. Blackcliff Pole only gets a stack if the last hit was dealt by the character who is using the Blackcliff weapon, which means that very often, even if you do kill enemies, you don't actually get the Blackcliff stack. So I don't love it on her. It's an okay stat stick. Like, at 1 stack, it's a little bit better than the other 5-star or the other 4-star free-to-play options, but at 0 stacks, it's worse. And the other free-to-play options are just a lot easier to make work, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Missive Wind Spear is her default free-to-play. Generally going to be her best free-to-play 4-star option. but the gap between it and the other options for free-to-play options is very, very small. Because those other options do give you that ER that can let you burst every rotation. And so, while it's like the default free-to-play option, I don't actually think it's all that great. And I think you should very much be willing to consider one of these other two options. And more importantly, if you didn't get Missive Windspear because you weren't playing while the event was happening, you're not missing out. So, Favonius Lance, I would consider to be generally her actual best in slot 4-star. Deathmatch is going to be her best in slot for damage. But Favonius Lance is actually not that far behind because your requirements can actually be high enough for the Fav to matter. Now, because Fav gives you particles and is a high base attack, low substat weapon for the Lance, you actually end up in a situation where those 3 additional clear particles reduce your ER requirements to around 140. And Fav, as a high base attack weapon, right, gives you 30-ish, which means this is about 2 substats, which is pretty reasonable to get from substats alone. So from 170-ish, which is ER Sands plus up to 4 ER substats, swapping to Fav Lance means you can swap your ER Sands to an attack Sands, and you can get more non-ER substat rolls. Which actually makes it a much stronger option than you'd expect out of a weapon that doesn't actually give you any damage onto the substat or the passive. And then on top of that, obviously, these additional particles help a lot for the rest of your team's ER requirements, which is the main thing that pushes it over the other options, in my opinion. I will say, though, there are quite a few immediate teams where the rest of the team doesn't care as much about the energy. And in those teams, then I would go Deathmatch over Favonius Lance on her. But it's really not that large of a difference. Favonius Lance, just looking at the damage, assuming you adjust your build for it properly, is very similar to Missive Windspear. But then you also get the additional utility for the rest of your team. And then finally, the catch is a decent free-to-play option. It's very similar to Missive Windspear. Again, right, this is an ER weapon, so you have to adjust your build for it. Your substat requirements are going to be slightly different. But assuming you are adjusting your build for it properly, the catch is also very similar to Missive Windspear. So if you don't have Missive Windspear, don't have a Fav Lance that you can spare for her, putting her on the catch is a completely fine way to go about it. So, let's order these. Honestly, realistically, what you're going to see is her best in slot, then all the decent stat sticks. Homa, Calamity Queller, Fav Scarlet Sands, Engulfing. Then Jadewing Spear and Skyward Spine. Actually, no. Then Deathmatch. Then Jadewing Spear and Skyward Spine. I'm putting Deathmatch above here because I know a lot of people have refines on it. If your Deathmatch is R1, it's maybe a tiny little bit below these. If it's R5, it's above. Overall, it's not really that big of a difference. And realistically, I think there's enough teams where Fav matters that I would put Fav above Deathmatch here below these decent stat sticks. Next up, we'd have honestly, Missive Windspear, then the catch, then Blackcliff Bolt. Yeah. That's pretty much it for the weapons. Again, right? keep in mind when you're using pretty much any of these weapons, right? You can go for a burst every rotation or a burst every other rotation build, and both are completely fine, right? Obviously, when you're going one of the ER weapons, if you're not bursting every rotation, you're kind of running it down because your ER weapons aren't giving you anything now. But yeah. I also want you guys to remember that this ranking can change a lot in some of her teams. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I haven't included Ballad of the Fjords because it's kind of just worse than these. There are some situations where it can be slightly better, but I would not recommend Ballad of the Fjords. I know a lot of people are like... I know a lot of people see her kid and are like, oh, she's a burning character, so I guess that means I have to build her EM, right? No, not at all. Let's explain how burning damage works. Why is Homa better than Jadewing Spear? Because if you're playing her in a team where you're not using her as an on-fielder, you will not get a lot of stacks of Jadewing Spear. You can't gain Jadewing Spear stacks off-field. So, let's show how burning damage works. So this is going to be pretty easy to see because my Nahida has a lot more ER than my Yanfei, and my Yanfei is level 80. So when the burning is doing more damage, it's because Nahida's triggering it. When it's doing less damage, it's because Yanfei's triggering it. So, if I go on Yanfei first, and then I auto on Nahida, right, the burning is doing 1301 damage. However, if I auto on Nahida and then auto on Yanfei, the damage goes down to 557. Burning damage is based on the elemental mastery of the last character to have applied either Pyro or Dendro to the burning enemy. When it comes to Nahida, that means that she's very, very often going to be the trigger, because the requirement for her skill to deal damage is that you've triggered a reaction. Which means that whenever you trigger the burning reaction with your Pyro character, it'll proc Nahida's skill, and Nahida's gonna deal damage right after them, effectively preventing them from having any burning ownership. Right? So if I use my E, and I trigger burning, you can see it's the amount of damage that Nahida's doing.
Everyone hold hands.
Alright, we get one proc. Actually, no. Yeah. So because Nahida's applying the damage right after, then she can have in burning teams pretty decent burning ownership. That's not the case for Émilie. Her Dendro application isn't tied to your other characters having triggered a reaction. It's tied to a timer, right? It happens every 3 seconds. So one, it's slower, and two, it's not always perfectly aligned to be the next reaction. Which means that Émilie's burning ownership in teams is a lot lower than Nahida's. On top of that, even if we were to assume that Émilie is able to get over 50% of the burning ownership, which is very unrealistic. Base damage of burning is 362. Actually, let's just use this sheet. Okay. Even if we were to assume 50% burning ownership, which is very, very unrealistic, EM Sens is significantly worse. I mean, hell, let's assume 100% burning ownership. Alright, you're getting the equivalent of 4 procs of burning every second. Even if that were the case, even if she was able to get 100% burning ownership, EM Sens would still be significantly worse than attack Sens. And realistically, I'm expecting something a lot closer to maybe 20 if we're being optimistic here. 20% ownership, I think, is very generous already. Which effectively means that burning is a very insignificant portion of her damage. It's not a completely insignificant portion of your team DPS, because obviously you can have other characters that can be the burning trigger, and overall you will have pretty good burning uptime. And some of those other characters may scale with EM. If you're playing Kazuha, for example, in your burning teams, every time he swirls Pyro, then he's applying Pyro to other enemies and becoming the burning trigger. But it's really not something that you want to be building her around. And EM is just really not that helpful for her. So, that pretty much eliminates most of the reaction-focused sets, right? Gilded Dreams, 2-piece with EM stuff. No, that's not what you want to use on her. So what do you want to use? Well, you know, she's a burning character. We got a burning set recently. So, we can talk about Unfinished Reverie. I'll just call it Reverie. She's a Dendro character, so we can talk about Deepwood. A good amount of her damage is skill damage, so we can talk about Golden Troop. I think that's it for what I want to talk about. But then I guess 2-piece options. So, let's first start with Golden Troop. Golden Troop is not very good for her. She does have a decent amount of skill damage, but what you're going to notice is, right, if we actually take a look at it, Golden Troop, right, it gives you 70% skill damage. The Burning set gives you 50% damage percent on everything and 18% attack, which is almost as much damage for your skill as Golden Troop, because she's relatively saturated on damage percent and not that saturated on attack percent. But then on top of that, it's also buffing your Ascension passive, which they explicitly state is not skill damage. Right? This damage is not elemental skill damage. Even though it comes from your skill, it's not skill damage. So this isn't buffed by Golden Troop, but it is buffed by Reverie. And it buffs her ult damage, which is also pretty significant, especially in AoE. So Golden Troop is a fine option if you have a really good Golden Troop and you don't want to have to farm for one of the other sets if you don't have one. But it's really not gonna be what you're aiming for, right? It's fine transition set. But really what you're gonna want to be going is either 4-piece Reverie or 4-piece Deepwood, right? This 50% damage percent and 18% attack, that's a lot of damage. However, so is 30% Dendro Res Shred and 15% Dendro damage bonus. Overall, they're relatively similar to one another, close enough that honestly you should just go for whichever one has better substats. However, if you're playing her with another Dendro character, or if you're playing her with another character that isn't reliant on a very specific set, you can put that other character on Deepwood, and you can put her on Unfinished Reverie, therefore benefiting from the Res Shred from Deepwood, and all of the damage bonuses from Unfinished Reverie, right, which is the best of both worlds. It is worth noting that that's not going to be possible in every team, right? And there's a lot of characters that, while they can be Deepwood holders, like Zhongli, for example, aren't that good at it, right? After skill or burst hit opponents, you get Res Shred. But if your pillar expires, then that stops happening. So generally, if you don't have either of the sets farmed, I would lean a little bit more towards 4-piece Reverie than 4-piece Deepwood. However, if you've been playing for a little bit, you probably do have Deepwood farmed. Deepwood is useful on so many characters, and so is Gilded Dreams, that it's a pretty resin efficient domain to farm, and a lot of people already have a pretty good Deepwood set. And so, considering how close it is, I'd say that if you already have a decent enough Deepwood set, it is not worth the resin to farm for the 4-piece Reverie. So 4-piece Reverie is best in slot contender, and so is Deepwood. And then finally, 2-piece is like, okay, I guess. It's alright. It's not that bad, but it's obviously not main thing you wanna be aiming for. Next up, artifact stats. So you're obviously gonna go attack, Dendro, crit. While she does get a decent amount of damage percent from her kit, she's not quite saturated enough that you would rather go attack percent Goblet over Dendro Goblet. If your attack percent Goblet is good enough, you can consider it, but it's not really. It's not like an ideal scenario. Obviously, you can also go ER, Dendro crit. Again, right, this boils down to how exactly you're going to want to play her, if you want to do a burst every rotation or every other rotation. I think it's also worth noting that in more flexible rotations, you can ult more than once per rotation. which makes it so that the ER builds can actually become even better when you ult more than once per rotation, right? If your rotation has a lot of leeway where you can swap into whichever unit, you can do asymmetrical rotations where you just burst off cooldown on her, and if you're doing that, then obviously her burst becomes a much larger portion of her damage, and ER is a little bit more valuable. But yeah. Finally, we get into the teams. So, what sort of teams are you looking for on her? You're looking for, generally just any team where you can fit her. That would benefit from her damage, but isn't reliant on her application. Something I've used as a way to describe her role in teams is you shouldn't really consider her a Dendro unit. She's more a Pyro unit that you can put on your teams. While she doesn't apply Pyro really herself, her role in teams is very often very similar to that of a Pyro unit, and she does not really do the job of a Dendro unit all that well. So, a good example of a team where, you know, that's the case is if you're going to be playing her in Mono Pyro. And I'm calling it Mono Pyro, but I guess we can call it Mono Burning. Right? So any sort of team where you're using, you know, Bennett and Émilie, with then either Pyro on-fielders like Arlecchino, Klee, Yanfei, whatever you want, or all-fielders like Xiangling, and then the last slot that's either another Pyro unit or Kazuha, something like that. Or a last slot that's a Dendro unit, like Nahida, that helps her get her deep wood off. She's got a lot of flexibility in those mono burning slots. I do think that the best iterations of it are going to be the ones that use a strong Pyro on-fielder and an Animo unit. But if you're using her with Xiangling, you get to on-field her, which means she can benefit from Bennett's buff, which means that it's not actually that much worse. Other than mono burning, we have Farina Vape teams, right? So very similar to a mono burning team, but instead of that Animo slot, you just slot in Farina. And you're focused on... You're not trying to get Farina to apply Hydro for your Pyro units to vape. You're just bashing her head against the wall with your Pyro units and getting some nice Farina vapes out of it. You can play her in teams like Risley. You can play her in Risley Melt, right? You can play something like Risley, Bennett, Émilie, Xiangling, Risley, Bennett, Émilie, Toma. Something like that. Gonna work out pretty well. You might be able to play her as another element in Neuvillette teams that already slot in Xiangling or another Pyro. But again, I'm really not sure if she's gonna be able to properly get her level 2 skill off. We talked quickly about Air Fryer. Air Fryer is kind of a meme team that I came up with on Sumeru's release to try to, you know, find something useful to do with burning as a standalone reaction. And it's effectively using your Dendro unit in a quick swap Animo team, where your Animo units end up swirling a lot of pyro and getting a lot of burning ownership. And if you're keeping enemies grouped, because burning does actually have some AoE, and it can originate from each character affected by it, you get a certain amount of pseudo-quadratic scaling. Now, Émilie could fit in that team pretty well because, you know, the Dendro unit, you don't want the Dendro unit to have burning ownership in those teams because your Animo units are built full EM already, so you want them to have the ownership. Alright, that's number one. Number two, the biggest downside of Air Fryer is how easy it is to kill yourself with the burning. So that gets pretty much eliminated with the very high amount of burning damage resistance that Émilie provides to your team. And number three, her ult also has this pseudo-quadratic scaling that can benefit from the enemies actually being grouped. I don't think Air Fryer is going to suddenly become meta. But it is, this is a nice addition for it. It's gonna be fun to play.
Time for takeoff.
Yeah, as you can see, right, they're a little bit too high up.
Adorn my night.
If I just walk into here, wait, these guys' AoE is like weird. Fuck, okay, never mind. There we go. And whatever. Venti grooves those things? Yeah, he does. I don't think my characters are built properly, though.
You can get away? Everyone hold it? Everybody stand!
Clouds high. The birds call. Wind strike.
Yeah.
Let's leave her alone.
Now, a potential issue is that you're gonna be having trouble applying Dendro and AoE when Émilie's burst is not active because of her really bad application and her really small range. That being said, one thing I want to talk about very quickly is that depending on how exactly they make her targeting work, that can be alleviated to some extent, right? Her internal cooldown isn't necessarily 1 every 2 waves of hits. It's each target can only be applied with Dendro every 2 waves of hits, which means that if your waves of hits are hitting different targets, then you can potentially apply Dendro on each hit, which isn't as bad in AoE, but yeah. I mean, I'm really not gonna be. I'm not gonna be telling you guys that this is an amazing team, but it is a cool thing you can consider. Honestly, maybe you do something with double Dendro instead, right? Something like this with her as the last slot could also work. When you use her ult, you just make sure you stay on her to get all the value out of Bennett's buff. It'll be fun, but I don't expect to be that strong. But I think it's still worth mentioning. Other than that, we can talk about burning load teams. Right? Teams where you try to get quicken and burning at the same time. This is an archetype that is maybe not popular, but definitely a consideration for Sino players. Alright, something like with Toma, like this.
Who's our next target?
Or with another Electro unit instead. Generally with another Electro unit instead.
In the name of
And when you play a team like this, fuck. get an ER Sans, please? Don't take a look at the builds. Okay, the builds are not what you're supposed to do. I just want to show how the elemental interactions work. Right? And so you can start hitting on them, and as you can see, thanks to the magic of editing, we're still getting aggravates and consistent aggravates on our electro application, even though we're triggering burning, right? We're effectively, instead of using our default wood as the fuel for the burning reaction, we're using special wood. We're using the quicken wood instead of the... Basically, we're using our quicken aura instead of our dendro aura as fuel. And that may be a bit of an issue with Émilie. Her dendro application is already not that good to begin with. And pyro, right, whenever you start triggering burning, it depletes your aura relatively quickly. And so I'm not entirely sure how good of an uptime you'll have on your quicken in a team like this using her instead of Nagida. At the very least, you should be able to use her instead of Fischl, which is gonna be fine. But yeah, the main upside of a team like this is obviously your electro units that are built for quicken damage, aggravate damage, are also now triggering overload, and so is your pyro unit, right? Whenever you apply,
I see everything.
right? When the aura looks like this with an underlying quicken aura, and you apply pyro, you trigger overload on the pyro, but you also trigger I got fucking global ICD. You trigger overload on the pyro, but that also triggers burning. And by triggering burning, you're also putting a pyro aura that you can then use to trigger overload with your other characters. So effectively, your pyro character triggers an overload every time they apply pyro, but then also your electro character can trigger additional overload thanks to the burning happening, right? So we trigger. Right, we trigger overload and we apply pyro every time Coma gets his thing, and then we can trigger another overload with Sino or Fischl, right? Yeah, so that's how something like this works. Now again, right, it's really just a matter of how well her application is going to survive. Looking at a similar team with other characters that have slow-ish application.
Don't get too close. Surrender. I got you covered.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first.
Your sins weigh upon your soul.
Right, as you can see, we do get some quicken,
You stay condemned.
but we get a lot less.
Guilty.
A lot less aggravates. We get a lot less reliably because our aura is actually managing to die.
Fire it up.
We try to do it again properly with Fischl. Aura should die a bit less. Fischl is active.
Supporting fire.
By royal decree.
Taking a turn for the better.
Surrender. Judgment is upon you. You stay condemned.
Alright, if we take a look at the aura in the top left, right, sometimes it's still disappearing, unfortunately, but we are still getting a decent amount of aggravate. Depending on how exactly it ends up lighting up, it might be that, it might not be that big of a deal. It might be a pretty big deal. It's hard for me to say. I'll have to do some testing on it on day one, so make sure you tune in. I stream testing the new unit when they come out, except Sijuin, because he bores me to death. From the patch drops for generally about 4 to 5 hours. So, you guys want to stop by when the patch drops on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zajef77. Man, other than that, I think that's kind of it. Her Dendrop. So okay, if you're playing her in any team that doesn't have burning, she's just not good. Her damage just isn't good at all. So just base quicken team, stuff like that is just not really gonna work. How cope is Lava Walker? It's pretty similar to 2-piece 2-piece. Ever so slightly better, but
it's bound to run out sooner.
But yeah, out of these teams, I'd say that the main ones I would recommend are the Mono Burning and the Farina Vape teams. And then maybe the Neuvillette team if you end up being able to properly get your level 2 lamp. I think the Farina Vape teams are actually going to be very strong. And this is the sort of team where you can decide to use her as an on-fielder. Right? Using her with Bennett handling Farina as an on-fielder is going to be pretty good. You have because she doesn't have that much on-field presence other than being able to benefit from Bennett's buff on her damage, you can swap out of her to make sure that you're building up fanfare on all of your characters without losing too much.
Lighten the mood sometimes. I'm not the best judge of other people's sense of humor.
Channeling and Farina are going to help with the 8 damage and AoE. I think it's definitely going to be one of the better ones, so Mono Burning, Pog, Farina Vape, Pog, Neuvillette, either Pog or Dog. Not sure. Risley is going to be decent. Air Fryer is going to be... and then Burning Load is going to be...
Luck can swing the results of a single game.
between...
Bound to run out sooner or later.
And decent, depending on how well the auras work out. And again, right, a lot of this is going to require a little bit of testing. We haven't seen all that many aura interaction leaks in this Abyss cycle, so I'm working off of the information I have, which is somewhat little, unfortunately. But what that means is that we're going to have a more important post-release, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. I always try to get the post-release out before the end of the banner. I think, with like one exception, I always have managed to get the post-releases out before the end of the banner. So if you're really not sure whether or not you want to go for her, you can wait for that. But yeah, so she doesn't work in Burgeon. I mean, this is kind of a Burgeon team. Ish. Not really, but like kinda. I mean, I guess you can talk about Burgeon, with her plus another Dendro unit. Meh. her dendro application isn't good enough to be solo dendro for Burgeon. You're gonna get basically no Burgeons.
In the end,
But if you have 2 dendro units in your Burgeon team, that means you have 1 pyro unit, 1 hydro unit, which means you don't have either a way to mitigate your burning aura fucking you over for Burgeon by using a cryo or electro unit in your Burgeon teams and do some oven or curry interactions, or a second hydro unit to actually ensure that you do get a decent amount of Burgeons. So pretty much the only way I can see her working out in a Burgeon team is if you use a unit that has really high hydro app, like Singtao, maybe like Child, but like yeah. I'm not very optimistic.
luck can swing the results of a
So Burgeon is also gonna be
but it's bound to run out sooner or later.
But yeah, like if you're playing I don't mind showing it, right? So if you're playing a solo Dendro with relatively slow application in your Burgeon team, especially with a single target application,
Who's our target?
The doctor will see you now. No, my soul. Let me read it.
Check this out. Here's backup.
Here comes the catch.
Remember, health comes first.
I want you to realize how few Burgeons we're actually getting here. We got like, what, 7 Burgeons? And 2 of them were because I did a normal attack on Baiju. You're really not getting a lot on something like this. And if you end up going double Dendro instead, and you're not using a character that has insanely high Hydro app, actually something like this might work. Because your pyro aura is your pyro application is kind of slow. This might be fine, actually.
The Temple of Wisdom.
Things are about to get dicey. Gotcha.
Don't get too close. I got you covered.
Taking a turn for the better. A bitter pill.
Committed to memory.
Like, we're not getting the most Burgeons, but it's not, no. I mean, it's not great. It works, but it's really not. Yeah. I think the reality that I need to like acknowledge here is her personal damage is strong enough that it's probably not going to be that bad of a team compared to the other Burgeon teams, because Burgeon teams aren't known to be the strongest teams to begin with. And she actually has enough personal damage to somewhat salvage that, even if it doesn't work well synergistically. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the pre-release. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about her. I'm not a huge fan of the restrictions, and I'm really disappointed that their burning character that they're releasing is a character where you're effectively treating burning like a fucking single
And knock out the
like pyro swirl for your VV or something. You're not actually taking advantage of the reaction in any way. It doesn't add some cool elemental interactions. I feel like that's very disappointing. Personally, from like a game design perspective, but that has nothing to do with her strength. I think she's going to be a relatively strong character. that has a decent amount of versatility.
Navigating the world is a whole
Pretty easy to play as well, which is obviously always an upside. I don't think she's going to be the strongest, but I don't think she's going to be bad either. Excited to see what people think of her, and excited to get some testing done as well. So, as usual, thank you for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two. If you liked, make sure you do the YouTube thing. Like, comment, subscribe. And see you guys in the next one. Bye, YouTube. Tell the editors. Recorded. Émilie, pre-release.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
ChesseBurgers. What the fuck is that? Let's go try the Sijuin trial. She's out on EU now, right? That doesn't matter. Actually, no, it does. I don't want to have ping that bad. EU ping is going to be a lot better. Émilie Cons. Fuck! I forgot. Fine. Every time. Okay, so, let's now talk about the constellations very quickly. It is obviously not something that I forgot to do, and I'm recording after the fact at all. So, Constellation 1 increases the damage dealt by Fragrance Extraction, which is her elemental skill, and her passive talent, Clear Du Cologne, so the second one, by 20%. The latter requires unlocking said passive talent first. Additionally, when nearby party members trigger burning reaction or deal dendro damage, it will generate an additional scent. This event can be triggered once every 2.9 seconds. So this is 20% more damage on skill and passive, but much more importantly, it means the passive triggers more often, right? Because you get more sense, and the passive triggers based on sense. That increases your dendro app, which means that it can, in some teams, actually be enough to get the sort of application necessary for your reactions to work better. And every time it procs, obviously, deals double damage. It deals a good amount of damage. It's a pretty reasonable constellation. I'm not entirely sure how many more A1 procs you're going to get out of it, but yeah, it's pretty good. I think, like, within the realm of Constellation 1s, it's okay. Obviously, keep in mind, she's generally going to be played as an off-fielder. And so, a Constellation on her doesn't do as much as a Constellation on a hyper carry, even if it were to increase by the same amount of damage. Constellation 2, Lake Light Top Note with Fragrance Extraction, Aromatic Explication, or Clear Du Cologne, which is when her skill, burst, or Ascension passive hits opponents, decrease Dendro Res by 30%. This is pretty good. She's not really gonna be played in teams where you deal other sources of Dendro damage, so this is mainly just for her. It's not that significant as a team-wide buff. But it does mean that if you're playing her on the Reverie set, you're increasing your damage by a pretty decent amount. Overall, also a pretty good C2. Nothing, like, outstanding, but pretty solid. C3 is skill talent level, which is pretty good. C4, aromatic explication, which is your ultimate for elemental burst. Duration is increased by 2 seconds. Interval between opponents being selected as a target is decreased by 0.3 seconds. So what that means is that instead of 9 hits in total, you get 16, and instead of only being able to target the same enemy every 3 hits, it's now able to target the same enemy every 2 hits. Which means that in single target, you're going from 3 guaranteed hits to 8, which is obviously a pretty big increase. It's overall pretty good. C5, also it's burst talent levels, which once you have C4, burst is a more significant portion of her damage, so it's also pretty good. And then C6 gives her a Dendro Infusion. Every 12 seconds she can trigger it, which is more or less every time you get her ult. Let me just double check something. I know we have footage of her ult. I want to see when the cooldown starts. Okay, yeah. So because her ultimate is 13.5 second cooldown, but the cooldown starts on cast, not at the end of the animation, it means that it effectively means that you can proc it every time you ult. And you get effectively 1200 motion value on her normal attacks on top of their base. You get a Dendro Infusion on them, and you get to generate more scent. And again, right, each scent, every time you get 2 scents, you trigger her Ascension passive, which means that 4 scents is an additional 2 hits of her Ascension passive, which is 1200 motion value. In other words, you get 4 attacks with 300 motion value each, plus 1200, so it's kind of 600 motion value on each of those 4 attacks. It's a good way to front load a good amount of damage. I mean, it's good. I think that within C6s, it's like one of the better ones, probably. Overall, her constellations are pretty good. I don't really have that much to say about them. I think that her early constellations are individually all relatively strong, but none of them is like a very particular damage increase compared to other cons. Overall, just, yeah, pretty good cons across the board. Alright, so let's get back to this. So now that we're actually properly done recording. God, her autos feel so bad. Oh shit. I wanted to check if there was an invisible wall. There wasn't. Alright, okay. So you do this. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that.
Wibbly wobbly. Floaty floaty.
Wait, even if you max charge it, it still stops trapping enemies after the second bounce? Oh my god, this character is awful, dude.
Witness the power of Gugwa.
Frost is coming!
Odds revealed.
Commencing cleanup! Pair! Frost is coming! Pair!
Why are they giving us vitamin?
Pair!
Wings of dark.
Let me weave you a verse.
Yeah. Don't slip it. You might feel a little bit.
Huge!
Let's blow bubbles. By royal
Wait! Are they giving us a character we can disable with our skill? Fog? What?
odds revealed by
You need more than one? Oh. Oh, that sucks. Okay, okay. I want to try something. I want to try something.
Frost is coming! Pair!
Nice. Okay, I can't use the
Dead reckoning! Getting gear! Pair!
Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword.
wibbly wobbly. I swear it's for medical research. That wasn't very nice.
It's wannabe mage, man. Ah!
Let's bolt.
You know what?
Is it my time?
Yeah, this is on par for the course today.
By royal decree.
Wait, I want to try something. If I do this... I missed. I want to see... Okay, no, it shares ICD. Fuck! They didn't even make the fucking funny bubble, like, separate ICD from the charge attack. At least you can apply it every other hit. There's so many bubbles. Bro, the normal attack animation feels so slow! Let's take her. Let's take a look at how much application she gets out of her ult alone. Insane. The shield is so squishy that it actually... I think we did more damage to the shield from actual damage than from application. Let's see if we... Oh, our first one missed. Second one missed. Yeah, we got one! Are we getting two? Chat, we're getting two! It hit twice! Let's go! Oh god. I'm just... Yo, I got a gladiator artifact? Oh. Yeah. How many wishes do I even have on this? Wouldn't it be funny if I Wait, actually, I want to check how many primos I have on the Taiwan account. Could I get Siege Wind Constellations? $34,000. It's not even enough to guarantee C1. Yeah. What AR am I? I'm AR 57 on the account. That's crazy. Did I ever end up leveling the Nahida? No, I didn't. Okay. Interesting. I see. I see. I see. I might as well claim this. Wow. Alright. I mean, we've been on Genshin for like 2 hours and a half. Chad, did you guys see this, by the way?
I got a new letter from them.
I have a major in Genshin Impact. Dude, honestly, so after my daughter's bath last night, I was putting lotion on her in Kate's office. And Kate, I think she was playing Honkai Star Rail. I'm not going to play it, but after watching her play it, I was kind of like, I think I get it. It's like Slay the Spire,
it's
but
so
instead
funny
of like,
that he's saying this while playing Sisyphus, by the way.
You know, in Slay the Spire, you do an attack, and the attack goes like you get like a little red line on the screen, and then a number appears. She was doing like an attack, and a dude was like, he put like a doubloon into a slot machine that came down from the sky, and it rolled like 14 gold bars, and then gold bars poured out of the machine and was like hitting angels, and it was like 9999 9999 9999, and I was like, bro, I get it, man. And then like, so that's the gambler, and then there's like another character that's like a nerd, and she kept doing like cogito ergo sum, and it was like a facts and logic, and people were getting blown the fuck out by facts and logic, and I was like, bro, I think I get it, man. That's a character named Dr. Ratio. It seems like whatever she was playing, she's doing like, it's Slay the Spire, but like marveled up. I totally get it. And then like I had to go get some lotion from the other room, and when I came back in, she was playing as like a little guy in a room full of big robots, and she was running around like, and then she'd pick up like a little rocket and stuff it in the rocket launcher and go like, and then like there'd be a treasure chest, and then the treasure chest would be like, here's 17 secular jade, and then she'd get to the big treasure chest, and it was like boom boom ding, and I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? I didn't know it was like a real game. I honestly thought it was just like, I mean, I thought it was like Fire Emblem Heroes, where like the meat of the game is you just are like, whoa, 5-star Vesperia. I didn't realize that it had like that kind of aura to it, man. It's like a real game.
It isn't a real game, though? Yeah, bro. I was like, bro, I wish this was true, by the way. I wish Star Rail was actually just Slay the Spire, but marveled up. Dude, I wish. Dodge. No. That would be nice. But it's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. Have I done all the test runs even? I haven't. I don't want to miss out on the 20 primos.
Let's dance.
No rest. Midnight Ven... Scatter!
Wow. It's actually so funny that this is like one of the best trial teams.
I'm going in. Let me weave you up. Surrendering. Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's light it up.
other trial stages. Let's do Toma. What team do they even give Toma? Is it a Virgin team? No. That's awful.
This moment will be frozen in time.
Boba, get them! Motion to compel.
Here's Becca.
You're toast! Time for your arraignment! Boom!
Alright, we're done. Very cool. Why are all of these teams better than Siege Wins? Bro, I don't know. It's actually crazy how bad the Siege Win trial feels, by the way. Like, holy fuck. You look at my minus 15k. Okay. Fine. Let me refresh chat real quick. And Salsa Burt was bad, but this is fine. Yeah. You had a problem with that? Alright, I think it's time to go for some Wawa. Do I want to play Wawa? I don't really. Star Rail? No, I also don't really. I don't want to end stream though. I've only been streaming for 2 hours and a half. Elden Ring? No, only on Fridays. Oh, we can take a look at some Xylox clips actually.
Okay. So let's no. Ooh. So let's
What is that?
no.
What is he? What? What is this? What? Huh?
Ooh! Give me the theater, please. Go over here, go over here. Suck them together. Yeah. 2 at once. I've done more back in my day. Oh, I almost fucking cried and came at the same time. That's a combo. I'm just gonna get fucking ass blasted. Bro, it's so close. I'm off by like 1 inch. Kill this guy before he gets his shield. Ooh, goodbye. Ooh, they're gripping. Stop it. I'm actually gonna dash on Chow for energy. What are you doing? I fucking missed. Okay, I dashed early. Hey, nice and frosty. The snowman. Ah, fuck it. You're not dodging. Said you're not gonna dodge. Guess what? You didn't dodge. She respects the alpha between us. Is this guy gonna? Is he gonna come? When they group, I feel like I'm missing every auto attack in the world. What is this guy doing? He's fucking loitering. I've never used that word in my life. Wuthering Waves Pro gets humbled by a large samurai. Why is everyone saying no like he didn't turn around? Oh my god.
Is this just 11 minutes of this?
142k.
Surely it starts being normal
was
soon,
foretold.
right?
Was it okay? Should I blow my load off rip or should I wait for him to go invisible? I think you blow. Edge master? Dude, that was perfect edging. I'm gonna save some stamina here because I don't know what's coming next. I'm coming next. What the fuck is this? Excuse me, professor? I miss 1 day of the school year and then I come back and this is the exam. Novelette is so beautiful. It's like a man and a woman had a baby. No. Ooh, did he just say yeah? That was randomly like challenging. Not for me. I'm the best, but in general. Oh! I don't remember what Oh, Magu Kenki. Oh, this is a fucking joke. Wait, what the fuck was that? I'm so bad. Why did she miss? Yo, fuck this character. Oh, I got an achievement. Wait, what the hell? Been playing since release. How did I just get an achievement? What the fuck is this floor? Okay, if I take damage, I'll 10-pull. Fine. Ah! This looks disgusting, by the way. Our graphics are absolutely atrocious.
Wait, why does it look like this? Did he do something like every time he dies, he has to turn down the graphics or something?
Worse from here. My guy playing on a Samsung fridge. Dude, stop. Why is the Jeff catching so many strays? His stream isn't... It doesn't look like this. It looks like I loaded Genshin in Roblox.
Wait, ironically though, it used to. Like, if you find some, like, really old clips, it looked like this, but even worse. Back when I streamed on my laptop, it actually did, like, look worse than this.
I have, like, no ability. How do you play Sethos? What the fuck are you? I missed! Wait, where the fuck? He stayed stuck in there! Bro, that slime took a year to fall! Take off! What? Wait, what did I just see? Wait, what just happened?
Come a little closer.
Oh, he did come a little closer. Wait, he listened to Lisa. He's just like me. Oh my god, the low quality lightning. 10-pull? Okay, I'll 10-pull if I take damage. It won't happen. It won't happen. I've played too much Genshin. No! Okay. Looks like leaked beta footage. Hey, chat, watch this. Are you ready? If you play Genshin like this, you are much better at the game than I am. I want everyone who plays like this to know I died. I was getting hit by here. I died. What? It just explodes? Losing viewers speedrun. Okay, what the fucking circles? I want to throw up. That's probably the worst idea I've ever had.
What language is that?
Idea. Wait, let me show you one of my
Is that Korean?
messages in DMs with Zaj. Let me make sure there's no like nothing's leaked. What if my cock's out? Like, I don't want him to be able to just post my cock. If I post a vlog, it'll be there. Although, dude, for some reason in my hotel they put like a painting of a shirtless dude. I recorded it, so I have proof. I'm gonna open this in another tab. DM leaker classic. I would fit right into the gotcha space. This is his monitor. Looks like your last challenge. Wait, okay. True. That's his monitor.
Unironically though, like, it wouldn't go full screen, okay? Like, it just wouldn't. It just would not go full screen, okay? Whatever, it's fine.
Looks like your last challenge. Wait, true. Zaj, tell me Hazel's not that cope, please. Whisper sweet nothingnesses into my ear. Will you react to Honkai 3rd animated shorts? We're gonna do that for sure. It's a sick video idea. There's no rush on that because, I mean, look, let's be honest. Your favorite character is already dead. Okay, wait. Yo, I just thought of the best. Genshin Impact Pro watches Honkai short for the first time. Okay, sorry. Okay, I just started stream, but I already have to pee. Is it weird that I peed twice throughout the stream and have to pee again? So fast. Yeah, I peed on the way there, so it saved time. Aponia clears? Who's no disrespect, but that sounds like a disease. I have Aponia. I'm sorry. I can't eat that. Oh, all good. Okay, I already know what type of dude, look at like me when I go outside. Show the feet again. Bro, your name is Firefly's headband. Firefly's my wife? Okay, can you tell her to put a shirt on before entering Sam? Why every time I pants to her, she has no shirt? Just ask her. You don't just be like, hey, I'm just wondering. How much jades you have for Firefly? I don't check my jades ever. They milk me dry. If I don't have enough jades, I have to fucking swipe. It is what it is. If I skip Firefly, I'm gonna get fucking bombarded by Firefly Nation. Wait, I have 20 Inazuma Oculuses. Worship statue. No, I'm one off. So there's one over here, but I don't want to get it. It's like an achievement. Genshin players, they don't even play the game. How dare they complain? Dude, the last comments on my last video are like a war zone. Because I called it this fucking like, it's a joke, okay? If I sort by newest, it's gonna be like, stupid Genshin player. This is it, you just dodge. You are so noisy and annoying. Dude, fuck. Fuck you, Ahmed. Abdullah, why are you talking? The easiest red mist is that bear and you still struggle. Typical Genshin soft boy player that depends on stupid shields and heals that are applied. This was like 2 weeks ago on launch, bro. It's a shit post. Then he said, okay, understandable.
Perhaps it'll come.
I go, she could fix me. Okay, I don't know why I did that. Suck. Seed. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Am I getting baited by Cat in the Hat? Am I just getting one Guide by Dr. fucking Seuss. Okay, fuck you, Dr. Seuss. They should make Farzan play an ad. When you ult on her, if you're C0, you have to watch a 30-second ad before you can keep playing Genshin. I spent an ungodly amount of money. I bought a lot of things. I already have the Shao, the black shirt. I've worn it. Kind of hurts my nipples a little. How can you be so jobless? Mods? Chemical warfare. I think the shoes don't look bad. They're just kind of hard to match. Like,
Please, no. Let's not lie to ourselves.
I would need a fit for it. They're fine. Bro, they're fine. Goofy. Dude, shut the fuck up. Lastly, I got the cock ring. Also, I had to guess my shoe size because it's in China sizes. I just clicked whatever 10 was. Like 42. Wait, 42 is too small? Wait, Jake sent me a size though. He said 10 is... Oh, 43. Oh, fuck. Wait. Might be a women's size chart. I think this is where Jake got it. International shoe chart, women and men. View men's chart. Wait, where's 10? Jake, you motherfucker! Bro! Worst case, Fang's in China. I could tell her to go to Hoyo HQ. Like, yo, you guys know Ziox? They're gonna be like, he's blacklisted. I could be the first dislike. Genshin Impact tier list. Okay, let me stop. Let me actually like. Genshin Impact tier list.
13, 8, 12, 6, 15, 8, 4? What is any of this? These are electro characters. These are 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 is the number of 4 stars. I see.
Okay, let me stop. Let me actually like do what we're doing in the title and not just walk around and do nothing. Granted, I do think walk around and do nothing is good content, if I may say so myself. I mean, that is the core of Genshin Impact and any gacha game for that matter. No one is watching you for immersive, intense gameplay. You're like, oh, that's not true for Wuthering Waves. Yes, the fuck it is. I watch people do hologram 5 and 6 and their viewer count goes down versus when they're yapping and picking fucking flat, whatever the equivalent of mint is in that game. Don't act like you want to watch something hard, motherfucker. I know you. You want to be hard watching Chlorine. Hi, Mr. Shear. I came from your YouTube channel. What game is that? Is that the new Genshin killer? Like, what? You are not. You're acting all innocent. No, motherfucker. You came from another channel. If that's how you speak. Why did you flex me a piece? Like, you think this is gonna slide just because you're a Twitch mod? I'm still rolling the fucking dice, motherfucker. Wait, do you miss one roll? Oh, wait, no, that's crit damage, not crit rate. That's 20 crit rate. Never mind, I'm banning you regardless. I don't even care what she rolls. I don't even care. Mod. Wait, big F. Overworked, unpaid moderator. Do you want Chlorine? You just wrote please. I'm gonna ban you and not get you Chlorine. Retract that statement and give me an appropriate answer. Stop typing like that. You're the reason why people hate Genshin players. Why do all your teams have 2 characters in them? What the fuck are you calling your teams? Redditor and Co. My Darkest Days. Tsunami. Sanus TC. Wait, what the fuck is this? Is this something I don't know of? Is this some meta I'm not aware of? Level 1 Raiden. What the fuck? Level 1 Skara? Douchebag. Okay, fine. What is it? First message, loser. What did I do? Emily's signature looks better than her. Dude, I think Emily's overhated. I don't know. Like, I get it. The like, oh, well, I saw her model before she released. Sure, okay. The purple looked prettier. I agree. Green Lisa. Okay, I'm gonna say something that I don't really believe because this is gonna anger people. To say this is basic when there's like 8 characters in both Genshin and Star Rail that just look like fucking the same character copy pasted with the same color hair and the same size fucking chest just to appeal to the same 6 people. Like, with that in mind, I think Arlecchino's peak. So skip everyone, pull for Arlecchino. You should have the option if you complete certain achievements or challenges with Fisher.
Actually, you get imagine saying Emilie's basic when Raiden exists. I said it! I said it!
Different pets. You can like summon a frog. You can like summon like a different type of bird, like an eagle. You get an American skin. No. Okay. That's in the game. It's called Farina. Okay, sorry. Sorry for speaking. You're the reason why I do Vermilion.
Love you, but I hope you get shit Vermilion pieces.
That's fucked.
Deserved.
Okay, it could be a good like Ito. What the fuck? Wait, but
peace,
do you think Blade needs a buff? The only reason
he kind of looks like a VTuber. Oh. I don't know. I feel like Émilie kind of looks like a if your cool aunt became a VTuber, you know?
why this fucking matters if you clear in like 1 cycle or 5. It's because of fucking Twitch chat. You motherfuckers, if I don't get 1 or 0 cycles, you fucking act like your cock is bigger than mine. Also, I'm not.
Like thoughts?
But it could or chat speak error and again because this
thoughts.
For speaking. You're the reason why I do Vermilion.
Love you, but I hope you get shit Vermilion pieces.
That's fucked. Or 5. It's because of fucking Twitch chat. You motherfuckers, if I don't get 1 or 0 cycles, you fucking act like your cock is bigger than mine. Also, I'm not a whale. I literally watched a like 0 cycle Acheron showcase. I was like, ooh, let me watch this. It had like Sparkle E1 or E2. It had like a signature on everyone. It had like a Ron May idol on. Am I the only relatable player? Am I the last one alive? No wonder all your fucking streamer fucks are fucking. You have every sig? What do you mean I have every sig? I don't even have signatures for my favorite fucking characters, motherfucker. I like Sparkle more than you like your fucking father, but I don't have her signature. Ooh. I got it! I saw a comment that was like, 100% of characters in ZZ are furries, and it's 2 I can. I feel like you're still a furry if you have a big ass tail, a maid outfit, and like cat ears. Like, I feel like that's like level 1, level 2 furry. You might not be like level 3, level 4, fucking paw job at IHOP. It's still mostly like when Neko Mata is like moaning in your ear as a fucking cat. You ever watch like a 4-hour movie and you're like, this was amazing? Like, you repeated the same thing 6 times. Why is this 4 hours instead of 2? That's how I feel about Ziox guides. My story. No, I'm kidding. You yap so much yet say so little. First message from Dr. Ratio. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button.
Oh. Let's watch the Gacha Gamer Siege Win video.
Guys, Emily.
What team is he talking about? He talks about an Al-Hytham team, but
It's good.
I don't think you're getting a lot of quick enough time on this, are you? That sounds wrong. I'll give it a shot. See how the auras line up, but I don't think it works out. That's why I didn't talk about the freaking D's with Dendro. The aura just... There's no Electro character that applies enough Electro that it's going to work out if you're playing them as solo Electro off-field. It needs to trigger burning every 8 seconds. That's not the problem.
In the name of the princess.
the side effects.
We get a bit of quicken.
Committed to memory.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, this may hurt a little.
I'm not.
By royal decree.
Here's backup. Check this out.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes.
We're not getting any. Oh, we got a quicken, okay. Okay. Aurora's lined up on this one, kinda. I'm not convinced at all.
Seems like an emergency.
Committed to memory.
I got you covered. Fire it up.
We got a quicken there.
Midnight Benter.
It's gone. Still no quicken aura. We got one there. This looks like less than 50% uptime on the quicken. Maybe Nahida applies too much dendro. The amount of dendro doesn't matter. If anything, more dendro will help a little bit. Bro saw Oz disappear and said no quicken. No, I was not looking at Oz. I was looking at the reactions and whether I was getting spreads. And I got like 4 spreads in my rotation. So like, yeah, no, that's not very good. We're doing Émilie E, Toma EQ, Fischl E, and then all Hytham stuff. Let's see if that rotation does. Alright, so it's Émilie, which is so Baiju Q, then so Baiju, Toma, Fischl, Nahida.
Taking a turn for the better.
Check this out. Supporting fire.
By royal decree. This may hurt a little.
You got a quicken, so 1 spread, 2 spreads,
Committed to memory.
3 spreads, 4 spreads. This is not good uptime at all. Because Fischl's Electro is just not happening often enough. Like, when you have a Burning Aura, you need to apply Electro 3 times to re-trigger Quicken, right? And Fischl just doesn't apply Electro 3 times faster than Toma does. Then Toma applies Pyro. We can listen to what he has to
as
say
big as the
about it.
entire Abyss room. And all in all, this makes her a pretty interesting Sino support. Speaking more in general, Fischl and Toma are a pretty good core for quick burn teams, because Fischl is a better Electro applier than Toma is a Pyro applier. This means that you can make pretty much every quicken team starting from this duo. For example, you can make an Alhaitham quick burn team without Nahida, which is kinda interesting to me because Nahida is commonly strapped to Alhaitham. The good thing about Toma, other than his Pyro application and his shielding, is that he can hold the deep food set. Toma's burst hits pretty frequently, so he can apply Dendro resistance reduction quite consistently. In theory, it's good, but there are more practical issues compared to the Sino composition. Burning is quite the AoE elemental reaction in that many opponents will get burned if they stay near to each other, while Fischl's Electro application.
Okay, so let's watch this clip in 0.25 speed.
something on your mind again?
So here we trigger Quicken.
2 heads are better than 1.
Alright, we get a spread on the first hit. But Hero Aura should die, so we're not gonna get a spread again for a little while. Yeah, no spread. We re-trigger Quicken here, but only on one of them. We get a spread, but only on one of them. Aura probably dies again here. Yeah. Here again, right? We're no spread to be seen anywhere. Is that the same clip? I think it is. Spread here. Another one here. In a row. No spread on the Eat Frog. No spread on this one. I don't know. He did say it's more scuffed than the Sino one, but let's listen to the rest of what he
Theory,
has to
it's
say.
good, but there are more practical issues compared to the Sino composition. Burning is quite the AoE elemental reaction in that many opponents will get burned if they stay near to each other, while Fischl's electro application is pretty much single target locked. This means that in situations where you're facing a lot of opponents, a lot of them will stay burning and just the primary target will have Quicken consistently on. In these cases, Quicken won't realistically be consistent, which doesn't happen on the Sino teams because Sino is an on-field electro player that hits opponents in an AoE range, so it will disrupt burning on all of them. So you could say that in that sense, Sino teams are more practical to use. What a day to be alive, honestly. Sino team feeling more convenient than a Hatam team. But either way, burning being more active isn't necessarily bad, because the burning damage won't be that low without Hatam being the trigger of them and him building elemental mastery, and also Emily's damage benefits from it. So, for all Hatam, Émilie is a good alternative to the Nahida Quicken teams. For the rest, so...
I don't know. I'm gonna send him a DM. DM reads, bro, your team is scout. No, I'm asking him how much Quicken uptime he assumed for all Hypham in his scouts.
For other teams, she's just an improved version of what I initially had. So for example, for the newbie LED team people were very interested in, she got a bit better. The other video said that the team could have some inconsistency in making newbie LED vape because Emily's dendro application is not as good as Nahida, so you won't have burning as consistently. But the thing I believe many people underestimate is that Ling is so good at applying pyro that she can even make newbie LED vape by herself. Burning is a nice supplement, and it's good to make the vapes even more consistent, but it's not really needed, I would say. Like, for this composition in particular, I think it does more for Emily's damage than it does for Newbie Led's damage, honestly. Then, for the others, Grizzly Burn Melt got better, Arlecchino Monopyro got better. I'm only showing you one example for each archetype because it kinda stays the same for every alternative, like if you replace Arlecchino with Line, it's kind of the same thing. The gist of it is that Emily stays a very competitive meta option on all the teams that can seamlessly integrate burning, regardless of which unit you decide to use. Like, if you replace Grizzly with Ganyu, it's the same thing, it's still good. If you replace Arlecchino with Line, Klee, or whatever, it's still good. I just haven't calculated all of the variants because I haven't had the time, sorry. And overall, I would say that Emily is shaping up to be a very strong meta release, one of the strongest Dendro units we ever got. Like, before she was
Oh yeah, like, I agree with, like, the quick burn stuff being cool. I'm just not sure. Like, I think she has two issues with the Quicken with the Quicken teams. One, if you're focusing on spread. One, if you're focusing on aggravate. If you're focusing on aggravate and you're using her as your solo Dendro option, I don't know if you're gonna end up having enough Quicken uptime Like, you're gonna absolutely need to run, like, double Electro. Otherwise, your Quicken Aura is just gonna be dead for way too long. And then, if you're playing the spread side, I don't think you're gonna get good Quicken uptime at all. Sorry, chat. Give me a second. Just want to record something very quickly.
Don't get too close.
Hey. Here. Everyone hold it.
Check this out.
Today's no good for going out. Did I say that yesterday as well?
Okay, here I used my points. That's kind of a wholesome emote. Sure, fuck it. Let's add it. Why not?
It's nearly time for afternoon tea. Today's no good for going out. Did I say that yesterday as well?
Alright. Sorry, chat. I think this is important to do because if the Quicken teams end up behaving differently from what I expected them to, then that's worth adding to the pre-release. So I'm talking with QJS right now. Oblige business. In Nivile Nahida right on Dea, why not Toma in Dea's place? Range energy? Because Toma procs on using normal attacks, not charge attacks, unfortunately. Alright. This is a clip that he sent me. Let's take a look. Can we slow down on VLC? Pause. We get spreads here. Here, this ends up getting re-triggered. Pretty pog. And here you lose it. And triggers again because it expires. I see. Yeah, you kind of have to like wait here because if you don't wait at the start, here this moment where Quicken gets re-triggered right before Toma reapplies Pyro. If this doesn't happen, then you don't have a Quicken aura through this part, right? Okay. All right. I mean, okay. I think my conclusion on this is the aura is omega wonky, but when it lines up well, you do actually get decent uptime. So I should probably mention it. All right, I will. So let me put a stream marker down. So one more team I didn't really talk about too much, but I want to add after the fact. I talked about Burning Load with Electro Carries, but I also want to quickly mention Burning Load with Dendro Carries. I think that the main issue that these teams have is that the amount of Electro application that you need in order to maintain a Quicken aura for your Dendro Carries through even a small amount of Pyro application like Toma is a lot of Electro. And the only off-field unit that applies a lot of Electro off-field, which is Official, is somewhat reliant on triggering Electro reactions with your on-fielder to apply that Electro. And if you don't have that, her application is not that good. And you don't have that in these teams, which means that your application is going to be incredibly tight. From what I've seen, with C6 Official, it's technically possible to have above 50% quicken uptime, but it's still kind of rough. Like, the timing has to line up, like, perfectly. And without C6 Official, I don't think it's going to work at all. So that's another thing that you can keep in mind. Another team that can be all right. And yeah. All right. Okay-ish business. Oh yeah, actually, wait.
Like Link, for example, in tandem with somebody like Cookie as the Electro player, the burning will be very frequent on opponents.
What do you guys think of the audio volume now, by the way? Okay, because that's something I told him about the last video of his I watched, which was that the audio was a little too low. I think it's a lot better now. That's bog. Is Beto an option in AoE? I don't think her op is fast enough. No. It might be, like, doable, kinda. But, yeah. Anyways, I think that's it for the Genshin for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't really feel like doing anything else today, so I think we'll just end stream here. Do I have any videos to post? I do! Wait, I have a video to post. Pog! Giga Chad editors. Farina asks Zajef. has been posted. So as usual, if you can find it through YouTube directly, it helps with the algorithm. But if you're too lazy, I understand. Here is the link in chat. Make sure you go check it out. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you